Let's go.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Ready up, gamers. It is Wednesday, November 27th. My voice is starting to come back. Happy Thanksgiving or early Thanksgiving to everyone that is celebrating that. We are here for the 49th episode of Ready Up,
almost
your weekly
50.
show to catch
Almost the
everything
big 5-0, buddy.
I know, dude. We're right around the corner. This is your weekly show to catch everything that's happening in Web3 gaming. I am your host, of course, Icy Gaming, running duos alongside my forever duo squad partner, the Wolf of Web3 Gaming, the K9 of the K9s, the patron of the pooches. It's Peyton Kalevaheya.
What up, dude? And also the Pachara video.
Pachara
video is so good. What's up, Pachara?
So
Katie's saying I'm a Dorbs. I think she's talking to you there, Icy Gaming. But yes, we are surviving. Yeah, we're pushing right now, but we needed to make sure that our Ready Up family is readied up for the Thanksgiving break here and understanding everything that happened at YGG Play Summit. That's really like what this whole like episode is all about, is that it's fresh on our minds. Icy's a little sick. I'm jet lagged, but I'm pushing through. And we're just going to be kind of just going over a little bit of the news, but also what's going to be the main news is what we've did at YGG Play Summit, the Game Awards, and a whole bunch of things that are going to be coming up and everything like that. So I'm excited for the show, man. How are you doing? Are you all right?
We're doing. Definitely kind of like feeling the love and the energy. Woke up to the really cool Thousands video, kind of showing us streaming on Thousands.
Oh yeah, we have that. Don't you worry.
That gave me a little bit of energy. That was a lot of fun. Man,
well, how's your arm, by the way?
My
carrying
arm?
Sam that whole flight, brother.
That was rough. There was one point where I'm like, trying to like, I don't know, man, hold on to the seat in front of me. We got to protect Sam at all costs. These are not just words. I hold these commitments dear to my heart. You know. But no, man, Manila was incredible. I can't wait to recap it with you. Shout out to the YGG Play Summit. Shout out to the Game Awards. I got so much new, amazing swag and merch,
dude,
from the event. So I'm super excited about that. Wolves Den, Creator Den was amazing. We got some updates to talk about that. We're going to cover all of it. But first, everyone that's tuning in, please, if you can go ahead, retweet the space if you're tuning in on X, hit the like button on YouTube, add some liquidity. It really helps us get this show out there. And we got to thank the people that make the show possible.
Let me save your voice, buddy. Let me get the sponsors out here today, man. That's a little bit of the open sea. But first, we just want to thank out Zai. Zai is a leading Arbitrum layer 3 blockchain right now, and Zai has been a phenomenal sponsor. But not just that, they like show up to these events. There was the Zai booth here at the YGG Play Summit, and here's the Zai boys here play Riftstorm, and dude, play Riftstorm's line was like literally out the door. It was so good just to see them winning, even in like Manila and everything like that. They've topped the charts in terms of like Steam wishlist and all that stuff, being #1 on Steam, but also just seeing them win across like the world is freaking awesome. Their team was there. They had like these really cool comic books. I think I have one actually here. I'll try to find it before the show is done. But Zai is just honestly crushing. And one thing that I wanted to also show here, and this is one actually, this is a little tease for the reaction video for Icy. Icy hasn't seen this yet. I told him don't watch it. But I just want to see that like Zai always wins, dude. Here we go. Here we go.
They got a new intern, it seems. Oh, Zaddy. Like that. You have 12 ETH. Spend it wisely. We need results. This is so funny. Hey,
shout out to OpenSea.
Dopest Pudgy tournament in the world. Vote for Pudgy. Purchase.
Dude, just the COD clips and shit's out of nowhere.
Yeah, so random. Are those Pudgy hands?
Done.
What is that? Zaya's Gaming, Zaya's Pudgy. What a fun blockchain.
But just that, dude, like it's just the culture. Like they know the culture, they know like crypto, and like they got a retweet from Pudgy, they got just all this stuff, and so they just understand like the culture of Web3 in a lot of capacity, and that's something that I just really like about Zai, is that they are for like kind of the trenches, and also their very big focus is like on indie development from Bootstrap. That's why they hired Jonah. That's why they hired Cairo. Hired Inhuman. They hired ingrown talent to make sure that like these games are doing. And also just shout out to the chat real quick. I need to take a.
You guys are crushing.
We got freaking Thayer over here over the weekend. Shady Shiba, Taylor ID always showing up first. Ravy, I think you're new here, so welcome.
Welcome, Ravy.
Wow, Shady, Thayer, Katie. Man, all you guys' names are awesome.
G-Crod in the chat.
G-Crod, hey, what up, buddy? G-Crod, dude, cracked that shadow line. Absolutely cracked. And Oliver, dude, you know what? We got to thank our sponsor and OpenSea, and just shout out to Oliver, all in one, man. First of all, shout out to OpenSea in terms of their Moonray game. They had minted out over 220,000 of the Moonray specific ones, but I also want to just give a big shout out to Base, but also a big shout out to like my boy Icy down here. He's been like grinding in terms of like these game nights and just getting a lot of light and shine to the game over the last few months, man. So just this is also a big win for you and your brand, being able to push one there. And then OpenSea, Oliver, congratulations. That's huge. 220,000 of these minted. And it's thanks to OpenSea
this is actually happening. I think it might have been when we were live streaming, which I know we're going to talk about in a second. But Oliver showed me, is like, dude, this mint is going crazy. 220,000 minted, like so cool. So that was a lot of fun. Shout out to Oliver for that.
Yeah, so shout out to OpenSea. Yeah, congratulations. And also here in terms of the OpenSea, we definitely broke the record here. 128.5K views on OpenSea. And if this man right here, there's G-Crod in the back, baby. This man right here is Fatality, which is like the first like American streamer to make over $1 million like in esports and all that stuff. And so he really paved a lot of the way, and we got him as a guest to come on OpenSea GG as like the stream. And so it was just it was a movie. We're gonna watch Pachara's movie here soon, but I just want to give a huge shout out. And also OpenSea, guys, is doing a waiting list for their upcoming thing. Again, like we don't know too much about it, but definitely go sign up. It's on OpenSea, OpenSea.com and everything like that, so you can be able to do it.
Yeah, /wait list. OpenSea 2 is coming. We love them, man. They're just the largest NFT marketplace that supports Web3 gaming. Of course, allowing us to stream on their platform, breaking the all-time view record was just such an honor and a privilege. And shout out to Oliver. I'm surprised that he's here because I just saw him earlier streaming MapleStory with the new content creator of the year, Yellow Panther. So shout out to them for that. OpenSea is absolutely crushing it, guys.
Yeah. What the heck is this, Oliver? This is based, dude. Look at all these specific dude. Okay, we got to wrap this show up real quick. I see. Not even joking. Okay, but let's thank you so much for OpenSea and Zai for sponsoring this show. This is not possible without you all, so we just want to give you guys a big heart thank you for letting us do what we love to do, which is talking about charts. All right, I see. What do we got here in terms of Bitcoin? We dipped a little bit, but we're kind of roaring back.
Yeah, I mean, we're still up like 1% on the week. It's funny. It's like, 90K Bitcoin last week. It was like, and then 90K Bitcoin this week is like, oh, man. We're seeing a little bit of recovery. We're at 95,493. We came so close to cracking that 100K Bitcoin.
We thought we were going to do it on stream. We were like, let's do it. Yeah.
But still, the market is doing amazing. Ethereum finally catching up, doing a little bit, covering that gap a little bit, 14.5% at $3,500. Solana basically flat on the week, but still $240.
They broke all-time highs last week.
Yeah, I mean, Solana has just been the main character this cycle. You see Dogecoin having, quite the great recovery, up to 40 cents, which is crazy. 2.5% on the week. Avalanche, the big story, of course, up 26% at $43.80. Man, seemed like forever that Avalanche was sitting at $20. So just, congrats to them. Let's see. Can we get a look at the gaming tokens?
Yes, sir.
Let's see how we're doing over there. Immutable. Immutable making big moves too. 30% on the week, up to $1.74. The Sandbox, man, the old
coins.
Metaverse coins just had a massive surge,
had a
up
huge run.
82%. Listen, I played the new Sandbox Alpha Season 4. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
You know,
I gotta play with you, man. I haven't jumped in there since like last cycle, so I'm excited to see what they've been doing and what they've been building over the last 2 years.
It might be something to, not necessarily fade, but a lot of big movers. This is the fabled alt season. Even ApeCoin is up 18%. Ronin up 31%, $1.82. You love to see it. Echelon Prime. I bought a nice little bag of Prime under $10.
Nice.
So I'm really happy to see this 42% move up to $11.77. Illuvium showing life as well, 29% up to over $55. So Zai up 35%. Wow, shout out to Zai. I didn't realize that. 0.31 cents. Still $50 million market cap, $232 million FDV with everything that Zai has going. Feels undervalued to me, not financial advice, of course, but just really, really great to see some of these laggards starting to move, starting to have their time in the
altcoin season. Let's get it.
So congrats to everybody that is in the markets. I'm sure you're back. We're seeing, post all-time high portfolios on chain. So congrats everyone in the trenches. Seems like it's going well. I know I'm happy for sure.
For sure. And if your greed index here is 75 greed, last month it was around 72 at this time. So in terms of that, it's been one of those things of like absolute greed right now. And so it is what it is. Trade responsibly, make sure you're taking profits and all that stuff. So want to make sure that, but also looking into some of like the token launches here, we have Open Loot here with their launch sitting at around 13 cents. But if you look here at the market cap is around 30 million, fully diluted at 671 million. So absolutely crazy, almost $1 billion market cap here. But Open Loot being very strong, actually, like right out the gates in terms of that, following kind of like big brother's footsteps here. And it's just like absolutely crazy to see it. And it's also something not to fade, to keep track. No matter what you say about Big Time or no matter say about Open Loot, they understand like Web3 and these markets probably better than a lot of other projects. And also a shout out here to Super Champs. Obviously a big recovery.
They're having a moment right now.
Yeah, up 50% in the last 24 hours. But fully diluted valuation is 21 million. But they're kind of like the start of like this new meta that Export started as well, is that this market cap and fully diluted market cap is actually very close when it comes to like that. And that's what a lot of people wanted, at least before all of this meta started. Now people are kind of changing a little bit of gears of like, hey, maybe we didn't want this. But again, there's still the market's going to prove out over time. And I am a big fan of a smaller margin in terms of that. So shout out to Super Champs for the last 24 hours, really increasing that volume, increasing that price. So you'll probably see a little bit of a sell-off, not gonna lie, because a lot of these people that might have been underwater down here. So and then Average Saga here up 12.9%, but did not shine a lot, have like a lot of sign of like a good launch, I would say. And this is me as an advisor, so this makes me like deeply saddened to even say this out loud. But yeah, fully diluted valuation is 5 million. And they are a mobile game type of one. And so their market cap of being 894 and 5.3 million as fully diluted just was not a very strong out the door. And a lot of people have like kind of ripped into them through this. And a lot of the critiques that they had was that they're on Arbitrum as well as Uniswap on Arbitrum. That was the only DEX liquidity, and they didn't like even perform that right. So it was just a lot of the big issues there with Average Saga. Again, one of these things that you ship, you learn, and unfortunately, hopefully this doesn't cost them anything, so they can bounce back.
I mean, one of the things is like, at such a low market cap, they've got a lot of room to grow and to move, right? Like, I'm looking for $1 million market caps. I remember when I got into metal from Bad Mad Robots, it was like a $1 million, $2 million market cap. And I rode that thing up to like 20, 25 mil. I think it's at like 30 mil now. So that could be, arguably bullish in the long run. Maybe in the short term, people have some concerns about the launch strategy. So it's like, maybe you don't want to
do you put your bet on this specific project? Yeah, a lot of that conversation is going on right now currently on crypto Twitter. But again, too, and my philosophy is like, I've worked for founders for the last 3 years, and the ones that are willing to stick in the trenches and will be able to be community first are going to win. And so for me, that's always what I'll look for. That's what always I will bet on. If I go down with the team, so be it, as long as I'm going with people that I enjoy. So Magic Eden here, mark your calendars. It will be December 10th. It's going to be METGE. So congratulations for the Magic Eden team, Liz, Knock. The whole team's been, fighting so hard and been just really absolutely killing it, crushing it. They had a very good pivot to Ordinals, huge, and they have a huge villa for the
Art Basel.
So
they're gonna party right into the TGE.
Yeah,
man. That's hilarious.
Party. That's so on brand for Magic Eden. So shout out to Magic Eden and the team. Just want to make sure that everyone is readied up for that and that calendar. Another one here is community gaming. This is a little bit more towards the new year, but I know we understand that the reason why we want to do Ready Up today is because that everybody kind of starts shutting off after Thanksgiving into the holidays and all that stuff. Just so you guys have this first in your subliminal brain, January 7th is going to be community gaming, and Chris and everything like that. So they've been pounding the pavement over the last year, getting into events, making a lot of events, and also just trying to get into the Web3 and getting the white paper into people's hands. I still need to read it, so shout out to Chris. I do need to read it for him and give some feedback. But community gaming, how do you feel about this 3XP? That's kind of like where we first kind of, hit it off, man.
No, I'm excited, man. I love Chris. I love community gaming. Of course, I love the team at 3XP. I know that this has been in the works for a while. Chris is just one of those founders, man, that he's based, man. Like, I don't know how else to say it. He's a great guy. He works incredibly hard, and this has been a long time coming. So I'm really excited to see it. I don't know how much I can say, but I know a little bit about like kind of their plan. They're getting into like a little bit of the prediction market kind of betting stuff. So there's going to be some features tied to the platform in that regard and the token. So that'll be really cool. I'm rooting for them. I mean, I think the Magic Eden token launch will be very telling because it's tough to launch tokens right now, right? I mean, we just talked about it with Super Champs and Averick Saga, like, to medium kind of results. So, anyone launching a token right now, I would feel, concerned, like optimistically concerned. Like, I'm rooting for you guys, like, hope it goes well. But yeah, community gaming, I think, they've got a product, they've got a platform, they've got revenue. So I'm looking forward to this token.
Yeah, I hope Magic Eden does well because they are a huge leader in the space. I would put them up with like OpenSea and a lot of these ones that are trying to be the leaders in the space, and they kind of dictate like what's going to be the next like few months, right? And that we found that out with like Blast Gold, right? Blast Gold, everyone was having these super high valuations. We saw that with Pixelmon, which we're going to be going to next. There's just a lot of these people that have like, everyone has these high expectations, but we end up kind of convincing ourselves within our bubble of like, hey, dude, this is going to go, this is going to send and all that stuff. And it's like, does it really send? Because there's no fundamental retail there to be able to have the demand for the token. It's just a lot of people that have like worked for that token or have been here for a long time. That's really kind of like for Magic Eden that I'm nervous about, is that like everybody that has been part of Magic Eden and have been like using their platform and all that stuff, like what everyone has used that platform, you know what I mean? Like, so who's gonna buy it?
It's got to be a big airdrop, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big airdrop. Exactly.
It's tough.
Exactly. So
it's such a tough position to be in for so many of these projects, man, because like, darn you, Uniswap, man. Uniswap, if anyone that was around for the DeFi summer, man, like Uniswap just airdropped like everybody who had ever used Uniswap $2,400.
Yeah.
Like, talk about a stimulus check, right?
Talk about a stimmy, buddy.
And like, if you held that, I think it's probably like 10 grand now. So it's like, we're really stuck in this meta.
Economics. Yeah.
We're stuck in this meta of like, give me Gen Wealth or I FUD, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I like the way that Lizcoin did it, right? Lizcoin, it's like $400 or something like that for a lot of like the upper tier. It's like, that's cool. That's a cool airdrop. Like, thank you very much. It's not 50, right? It's not 100. It's like a couple $100. Didn't have to do much. That's really cool. But like, I'm sure that there's going to be Magic Eden whales that are like, I did, $2 million in volume and only got, whatever.
We saw that with Blast Gold, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of like a barbell approach where a lot of people in the middle were the ones that kind of like, hey, I spend a lot of time. Like, you know, I'm a 9-to-5er and all that stuff. Maybe I'm not like ISO beast where like I'm doing it all the time, every single time, getting a brand associated with it. And so, yeah, no, I completely concur. And Winterfire saying, Icy's voice sounds rough. Hope you feel better soon, man. Yeah, get some lozengers. I'm going to try to take as much as I can from him today, guys. But I also want to hear his insights there. He's freaking smart. Yeah, vitamin C, Liz Coin, Smart AF, over 50% people staked with an average of 2 years. And that's also the sign of like what community does and like an organic community that's been built for like 3 years, right? So absolutely crazy. I want to get over to hear Mon before we get into YGG Play Summit.
And then Mon week, baby.
Landing this plane. But, you know, Julio was like, Thanksgiving what? And so he literally was just saying, you know what? People need to eat turkey and watch my stuff. And so he is somebody that I highly respect. This is Julio for people that don't know that he's doxed. And you know, he's somebody that I think is somebody that is exactly what me and Icy just talked about. Somebody that is going to keep on building, and you kind of know. And so you can park liquidity there because you know that he's going to be doing something, and he's always going to be at least presenting this because he's a very community focused founder. So 25th November, he's going to be rewinding, kind of just giving a reflection on everything that they've done. The launch of the token, the launch of the NFTs, the recovery of the NFTs. Like, again, like this is Kevin, right? This is the brand that kind of kicked off everything that started. He actually kicked off the bear market. Julio bought it. And like really throughout the whole bear took hits and everything like that. But 26th November, interoperability, a whole bunch of stuff. 27th, they're going to be talking about their anime plans, IP licensing plans. And then the 28th, really about Mon and what the probably utility is going to be. So he is going to be on a ringer all week here. And yeah,
we saw him speak at YGG Play Summit, man. Really well spoken, really great energy. Of course, Kevin was in the audience. So shout out to them, man. Shout out to, if you guys aren't paying attention to Mon Protocol and what they got going on, they're dropping a bunch of updates this week. So yeah, check that out with that schedule right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, check it out while you have some people in the US, have some turkey, put on some Julio. So yeah, day one of the summit. So this is really just the kickoff of YGG Play Summit. This was a whole bunch of fun, man. It was just like a movie. And this was just like day one. And there were some big announcements here. Gabby talking about on-chain guilds, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Fatality announces a Fatality guild and what he's going to be doing entering the space in terms of Web3. And then Prime Chain announced that they're going to be building with Base 3. So the foundation came up on stage announcing that they're going to be building their chain onto Base and really B3. And I think B3.fun, which we'll talk a little bit about later, is really that layer 3, kind of think of like Zai, but for Base. And then Jiho teased a big announcement on Friday, which was that Ronin is open to everybody, which is very sick in the new year. So
and that was really just awesome. Day one, which was crazy. It was really cool to be there, man. Kind of surreal, to be honest, like looking back at it. Shout out to Doji saying these videos look like an IRL gamified spaces event. I mean, Peyton, man, like before we get into like the specific news, like what were your first impressions of Manila? How were you feeling, you know, with the Creator Den? We were nonstop go. I mean, you know, shout out to, I think someone said earlier, like, you know, the FOMO was real, you know, kind of like one of the goals of like, you know, making content and doing the Creator Den was to create like, you know, not only just share it with you guys and let you in on like what was happening, but, you know, it was to create like a little bit of FOMO to be like, hey, like you should be here. And, you know, we want to kind of get you here. But yeah, man, talk to me a little bit about like your experience there for YGG Play Summit, the Game Awards, and Creator Den. There was 3 kind of like massive activations kind of happening.
It was absolutely, it was like a movie, man. Right. So like in terms of the aspect of getting invited by Gabby to come out and to like just say like, hey, we would really like Wolves to be there. First, I was like honored. I was just like, hey, like there's a lot of people that he could have asked to try to amplify. You call it the Wolves DAO effect. And I just want to give a huge shout out to like the creators, right? Like to fly across the world into Manila, Philippines and everything like that. It's not like a vacation destination spot, right? We probably work too much to even see the vacation destination spot if we did go. But really that's probably what I walked away with most. The announcements were great. The shows were great. but it was doing it with the people that I love,
Yeah.
and the people that I've built with over the bear. And there's just something to say about people that like you bleed with in the arena, um, like digitally, right? So you're across the world. And that was something that I noticed whenever we were on stage that one time, and we'll watch Pachara's. Actually, I'll put Pachara's one in the background. So
Yeah.
before I say anymore, I'm going to try to find Pachara's video. Please go support Pachara's video. It is so good. So go to Pachara. It's pinned up to the top. 8 days of filming, 3 memory cards wrapped in 2 minutes. And it was just honestly amazing, right? It was just honestly just we could play that movie in the background, but like being able to be with everybody there was just probably like the biggest fun event. Like we had, you know, Europe, people from like, you know, Europe is like huge, but like, you know, UK, London, we had a whole bunch of people from like YP coming. There's Matt, you know, and like Canada, US, Brazil. And it was just like everybody's so digital. It was so like, hey, you know, I wish that I could like give you a hug, icy and all that stuff all the time. And it was at that time in Manila that I could. And I needed that like every single time that I'm there and the electricity is there. Like look at YP's party. It was just such a vibe. That's like what I love the most. Like you put me anywhere. Like you said it so good. You talked about like the special forces. It's like dropping off a team in a like remote region and saying, go do what you do best. That's what I felt like. I felt like I got like the best type of feeling coming in. I got Icy next to me. I got Sam next to me. Let's go do work. And it was like the funnest work. I don't know. I'm getting like all like sentimental now, but like that was probably, it was a vibe.
Very well said. Perfect timing for everyone to show up into the chat and show love. Shout out to YP, Matt DeFi's, Storming, Bora Bora. Shout out to the Tempest Gaming Guild. Shout out to Sar Bloom, Sarah. Much love. Yeah, man. It's so on a personal like note, it's very cool. It's a dream come true. It's I'm so honored, flattered, humbled that we get to travel the world with our best friends and do meaningful work. It was really amazing to be invited to the YGG Play Summit. Shout out to Gabby, and just be so embraced by the Filipino people and the Web3 gamers on that side of the world.
You were a celebrity there, Icy.
You see
you were getting
esports, you know, between Ancient 8, between YGG, between, you know, the Ronin whole ecosystem and the gamers over there. It was just really incredible. And I think that's like the takeaway for the people maybe like tuning in who see this stuff online and like want to go to something like this. You know, hopefully there's an opportunity for you guys to go to a local event,
right,
or you know, or a local kind of conference, or one that's maybe not too far from you. Maybe you have to travel a few hours. I highly recommend it.
Passport or something.
Highly recommend it because the in-person relationships and just value that you get is just incredible, right? Storming was someone that we got to meet and spend a lot of time with, which was just like, I mean, I consider him a brother. He's one of the family now, right? Being there for Yellow Panthers party was just next level. Congrats to you, YP, for winning Content Creator of the Year. You're just, you know, leveling up on a whole other plane, and it's amazing to see. It's inspiring. And you know, being there for the Game Awards was just really cool. So like I think that it's a testament to the work that you put in of like showing up day in and day out throughout, you know, the bear market and the bull, and being a part of this industry. We're all here on like the frontier of Web3 gaming, believing in something that 99.99% of the world doesn't even know about, never mind care about. And the return on that investment, on that commitment, is just really massive. I mean, shout out to Swiffle. Swiffle's 18 years old and flew out to the Philippines, you know, kind of make something like that happen. So Twitter account in a dream, you know, YP also said it. He's like, a year ago he went to YGG Play Summit by himself, right? Sam, and you talk about, you know, the first GDC, going there and having to like, you know, get turned down for meetings, or you know, getting faded, or no one even knowing who you guys were. and now like how far you can come
Right.
in just 1 year's time, 2 years time is really, really remarkable. And that was just really solidified for me at YGG Play Summit. So just thank you to Gabby and everybody for their hospitality.
Yeah.
And just showing us such a good time. It really left a mark. It wasn't, I'll say this, and I tweeted this out. This was unlike any other conference that I've been to all year long. And I went to like 10 different conferences this year. The reason why is because this is a Web3 gaming conference.
Right.
These were Web3 gamers and Web3 games and builders all dedicated for this one summit all week long, which was just so incredible to be a part of. I mean, you had Jesse Polak from Base, presenting there. You had Fatality, like you said. You had Jiho from Ronin, Kagi, shout out to Kagi. He flew across the world for that, brought so many people together. But of course, like you said, Peyton, Wolves DAO brought a lot of those gamers and creators there as well. Right. So, Wolves DAO played such a pivotal role. And I got to thank you and Sam and Wolves DAO for putting that together and making that possible, because without you, it wouldn't have been possible. So there's a lot of really amazing things there, and just want to if you missed out, guys, it's okay, but try to get to the next one.
Yeah, we made an announcement to Mount Doji. He said, where is the next location? It is going to be in San Francisco, Wolves Den. If you don't even need to buy a ticket to GDC, you can just come to the Wolves Den and hang out. We'll have a whole bunch of events through a whole week. Hopefully get some tournaments going and everything like that. It's going to be a fun LAN party. It's kind of like a small little conference within a conference. And we like to kind of hijack a little bit, because a lot of the builders are going to be there anyways. So we kind of go to the builders. We want to know about what they're doing. We get some alpha and everything like that. But also we get to have a whole bunch of fun by playing tournaments, winning some money, and also just spending some time with each other and networking. I would say that's probably the biggest one. So yeah, San Francisco, I'll be there. No excuses. I love that, Mount Doji. And yeah, I think when it comes to just like a lot of the announcements at YGG, we can go through them really quickly and then wrap it up with some of the things that I think Gio said and kind of my tweet too. But one is going to be the big one, right? Is Echelon Prime is going to be going to Base.
That was crazy.
With their own chain.
That was crazy. That blew my
For
mind.
Sure.
Everyone was saying, a little bit of background. Sorry to cut you off, Peyton, but everyone was saying Parallel's got a big announcement. Parallel's got a big announcement. You got to be there 1:45. Parallel's got a big announcement. It's what could it be? What could it be? Right. And then we get Prime Chain launching on B3. This blew my mind.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And also just they've been putting on a masterclass of what to do when it comes to their token, locking it up. You have to think about kind of the chain of events that happen. Hey, they talked to Echelon Prime and the team that is building Parallel and Parallel Colony, saying, hey, we're going to lock it up for the next 10 years. That's what we're doing. Right. Then we kind of go into this feeling of a lot of the community responding well to it, saying hey, I'm staking, right? All this type of stuff. And now with Prime Chain, they're just winning left and right. You can also see it reflective in their token price. Obviously, there's also a little bit of altcoin run, but still Prime's outperforming. They've always outperformed. So congratulations to the Echelon Foundation. They've been doing a great job with navigating that token.
What do we think about this, right? Because they've got Colony building on Solana. They've got, Parallel TCG, which
on ETH, which is a lot of the NFTs.
Yeah. They also do stuff, their third person shooter, which is a studio that they've contracted to build that underneath them. So they're not actually building that game, but they're collaborating on it.
License, type of thing.
That's being built on B3, and now Prime is being on B3. And of course, Wayfinders is almost chain agnostic, where it is
kind of designed to
work across a bunch of different chains. Really interesting strategy. I mean, to your point, talk about building value back to holders and just the ecosystem. But I'm curious, what do you think? Because we don't even have a lot of details on this, right?
Right.
So, and I don't know if you know anything or what you can.
I don't know. On. I don't know. Really anything about Prime or the Echelon Foundation, what they're doing. I think when it comes to this, it's they're making a bet. I think more on B3 than anything.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things. Is okay, in terms of marketing, what's the best thing to do? Is to be that main thing on a chain that is just launching, right? Mm-hmm. And we have it here. It's a good transition to what we're what we're going to be talking about, which is like B3 meeting Open Gaming, a modular interconnected network of game chains built to unify on-chain gaming, empower real players, make games fun again. And so B3, what I know about this is that Base is not a kingmaker, right?
Yeah.
So Base is not a kingmaker. What I mean by kingmaker, they're not going to pick somebody up and put somebody on a pedestal and saying, this is a person that we're going to be doing. It's Coinbase for, like Coinbase is not going to do that. Yeah. Coinbase, Base, cool. A lot of those team members from Base have gone down to B3 saying, hey, we really believe in gaming. We really believe in king making because like that's the best like consumer apps. So B3 is showing their commitment to open gaming by also doing it for Prime. And so like a lot of that connectivity with like Prime, our Echelon Foundation, and talking with B3 is probably a lot of that, which is like probably, hey, like where you guys are going to be like our flagship project that will attract other flagship projects to make this chain combative against other chains, right? To do it. And like for me, I think Base makes a lot of sense and all that stuff. One of those things that too is like, do they have the culture like Zai does? I don't know, and that's culture is like very important. It has been the differentiator between the chains. You have the AVAX community, you have the Ronin community, and you have the Zai community, all kind of like being together as a differentiating factor of like the three leading chains, right? So so
Jesse Polak from Base was there. Victoria from B3 was there and then announced on stage their open gaming manifesto. Highly recommend people check this out. We've been covering B3 and kind of Base gaming on Ready Up for quite a while.
Yeah.
This is like the show where I feel really empowered and inspired to like share alpha. I'm not like a good, tweeter of like, oh, this is why you need to be bullish on this and don't fade and all. I'm not good at that on the timeline. But like if you guys tune into this show, you do get a lot of early alpha because Peyton and I are in the trenches and talking to the builders and paying attention to a lot of these narratives. So I've been trying to make noise about this for quite a while. And I think that this is going to be a massive narrative. We're already seeing Zeneca even saying like, I want to change my entire personality to just being a Base, ecosystem, like bull poster. And I think Base is just going to be massive, right? Massive narrative. And it's just something that I would continue to pay attention to. We're seeing like meme coins pop off on Base,
like Brett and everything. Yeah. I think it's going to be like the consumer retail chain, right? Like, I think it's a really good understanding of like, there are people that don't fully understand like, Web3 and don't really want to. They want to just be able to have like a MacBook versus a PC. And I feel like PC, or really we're operating on Linux in a lot of ways. And I think Solana is kind of like the PC in terms of that aspect of things, of like a very easy wallet integration. But I think Coinbase is going to make it even easier. I don't know all their plans, but their app and everything like that. So
there was one thing, I forget who it was that tweeted out. It might have been B3 or it might have been a game that was building on B3, but it's like they had like a security audit check or whatever, and they were able to get like Coinbase developers to like review it. And they were just saying that like how amazing it's like a superpower to be able to like tap into that network and leverage those tools and those resources, because they're like, these guys have been doing it for the past decade, the past 10 years, building in security and dealing with stuff on Coinbase's side, side of things. So like that, that connectivity is just going to be a massive kind of like jumpstart for a lot of projects.
Absolutely. And let's close it out here with Base, but really just talking about like YGG unveils on-chain guilds on Coinbase's Base. And this is where you were talking about with Jesse Polak being up on stage. That's him with Gabby. And just kind of like really dedicating. And what I really respected about Base was coming to Manila. One thing that I wanted to say is that there's a lot of people that didn't show up too, I see. And it's kind of like, like, what are you doing in some capacity as like a builder or somebody's like, it's not like the best destination. It's not Dubai or any of those specific ones that you can like vacation with your family after, which to be honest, it was actually really beautiful too, in terms of the beaches and stuff. But it was just like one of those things. It's like, okay, if you have this place that is going to be the destination, the heartbeat of Web3 gaming per se, why aren't you showing up? And Jesse showed up, Koji showed up, a whole bunch of people showed up. Chandler showed up. He was sick. He was dead sick. Like literally the whole week he flew out, got sick, and literally only could get out for the Game Awards, but he made an effort. And so it was just like a lot of respect, in my opinion, to that. And so that to me is like, okay, Gabby is also announcing this really cool tech, which is like on-chain guilds. Makes it infrastructure wise for like people that are spinning up communities that want to do things. A lot of the admin, a lot of the work that YGG had to go through about like, doing guilds or quests or any of that specific things. It makes it easy in one specific wrapping. There is like a really good graphic. I'm trying to get it for fee. I was trying to get it before this show, but obviously they're dead. I'm dead. Well, everybody's dead after that last week. And so that aspect of a really cool infrastructure product is going to be built on Base, and they can spin up things really quickly. And so it's like a more of a consumer app of people that have been in the space, have been having issues with things that have just not been working for the last 3 years. And now they're making it and then giving it to everybody else that wants to spin up a group with infrastructure. So really awesome. And what up,
really,
chat?
really, really cool to see that. Gabby, came to Wolves Den GDC, and we had a meeting with him, and he was talking about his vision for this. So it's really cool to see, 8 months later, them, announce it and launch it with Jesse Polak. And I can't reiterate what you said enough, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the people that show up. Jesse Polak's energy. People kept talking about my energy, man. Jesse Polak is so brilliant, so energetic, such a compelling speaker that I was like, I already like the guy already from Twitter, but after seeing him on stage, and I had an opportunity to talk with him afterwards, and we did a little bit of content. I have an interview with him that I'm going to be posting. I was like, man, it made me even more bullish on Base gaming and Base season.
I can't wait for you, dude. Yeah, whenever you told me you just interviewed Jesse Polak, I'm like, what did you just say?
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
And of course, Gabby was just like, I love this, man. Matt DeFi's interviewed Gabby talking about kind of the on-chain guild stuff and some of the feature sets, and just talking about how like that's like what he wanted with his guild back in 2021.
Right.
So a lot of this is really, really exciting stuff. It's all about more people on chain, right?
Yeah.
I just have this like comparison with like, oh, online, like you're online. Well, now the Web3 is literally going from online to on chain. You want to be interacting on chain, having a presence on chain, things like that. So, shout out to that mission, and, bringing more activity online on chain, and having your reputation score on chain, and that kind of profile and whatnot is just really, really powerful.
Yeah, man, it's really awesome. And and I think that's a lesson learned that we're just kind of echoing throughout this whole show. And I know this show is like the YGG party and everything like that, but this is really like what was our main focus, is like show up. And these people showed up, right? Like these people all showed up, and like we made memories, and like
they showed up there, and they're also showing up in our chat. So shout out to all of you.
But that's really what it comes down to. Like, everybody showed up to this chat because relationships go deeper like whenever there's this live. And that's one thing that I always say is that like the edge that you have is like actually being in person, because crypto is so international. It's almost impossible to like get a weekly show or whatever that is like in person or whatever. But being this, it's like all this pent up like type of like friendship and family all just culminates into like this 1 week, and you just go run through walls together, right? And I think one of my favorite videos is you and It's Bolt. You showed it to me on it, and it was just like, you make those memories, man. We broke the streaming record with Oliver present at OpenSea because he showed up, right? We wanted to go the extra mile because he showed up to Manila. He flew across the world. He like presented like the content creator of the year. And like literally I was talking to Omar. I was like, Omar, man, like you have like literally so many wolves presenting. And he's like, I wouldn't want it any other way. Right. So like, it's just one of those things, is like you have relationships at this ground level. It's not going to be like this forever. Promise me. Like, every single one of these people in these pictures are going to be heads of organizations within Web3 gaming. And it's just going to be, like not this anymore. And it's going to be like, man, I wish the good old days. Somebody told me that you're in the good old days when you're in the good old days, and we are.
Yeah, it's really true, man. I mean, these are the good old days. So that's the other takeaway for everyone like tuning in. Like, please, please, please stop to smell the roses. Take a moment to journal. Take a moment to appreciate it. Take a moment to enjoy it. I'm just so grateful, man, that we got to like fly together, travel together, go from event to event, and again, do meaningful, impactful work. when I look at this photo and I look at the Game Awards and I look at Web3 gaming and how far it's come just in the 2 to 3 years. I mean, this is the third Game Awards.
Yeah.
The first one that they hosted in person after doing 2 online events. And man, I mean, this can be a transition into the Game Awards now.
Right.
Man, did they smash it. What a beautiful, incredible event to be a part of. You and I were, in the balcony hosting our reaction on Thousands, but we got to see all of our friends present on stage. We got to take photos like this. We got to see our friends win awards. And we just got to be there for what truly felt like a historic moment. And it's just so cool to have these opportunities. And it's like this also transitions into what Jiho was saying with his speech, which we'll get into a little bit, but it's like now's not the time for PvP. There's a lot of work to be done.
Job's not finished.
So like let's come together, because I've talked to a few different people at the event that kind of said like, man, for all this investment, for all of this work, we're really not where we want to be. We haven't brought as many people on chain as we would like. We haven't launched, as many games that have, really significant player bases and things like this. So there's just so much more work to be done. And I'm honored to be doing that work with these people. But yeah, I think that his message was very sobering.
Yeah, it was definitely sobering. So, pretty much saying like PvE, we are nowhere near where we need to go, and we need to work together to be able to get there. Because enough of this like spats over crypto Twitter, enough of this stuff. Like, there's not much of us. Like, if you think about it, like you look left and right, it's the same people fighting. It's the same people saying, we're the best. And a lot of it is like, hey, we need to share insights now or like never. Because like we need to be able to win, because this whole space right now it's dumb of us to like literally PvP each other out of existence. And so Jiho, and I would say that's like something different between like, and that's also why like I tweeted my tweet after. It was like, hey, like super thankful, but also kind of like there's this bitter taste because I was reading on Twitter like all these like negative things. And I'm just like, how are we so, pitchforks and knives to our founders, the ones that are putting up millions of dollars for like lawyers, fees, and all that stuff? Yeah, the game might not be fun. Say that. I don't mind, but say it in a way that is respecting and compassionate towards somebody that has put their life work into it or put themselves on the line to try to push this space forward. And we're not even looking at that. I think a lot of the times we're not even looking at what the risks that they're willing to do and willing to put in. And we're just, it's a hit driven business. We say that all the time, but then we also don't like literally stop and say, hey, thank you for at least trying. What were the insights and all that stuff, right? And that's like something that's different, right? We don't have that yet. And I want to start shaping a culture that is more celebrating our founders, even if they miss, and saying like, hey, thank you. What's the insights that you have? Let's try to push the space forward of why it didn't work. But
and that's why the Game Awards is so important and impactful, because it is a chance to celebrate a lot of the builders, and kind of put a cap on the year. Even though there's a lot of work being done and still to be done, it is nice to take a moment and be like, hey, let's recognize the people who have been having outstanding years and crushing it. So maybe we can go to the winners and talk about them a little bit.
Definitely. And also, I did see this PT6. I don't know if you guys saw, but Caleb is starting his podcast now, which is to be in person, which we talked a little bit about in-person content as being an edge. I definitely think Caleb has a bright future. And I think Matt also said that too, is like, his future is bright. Met him at GDC, and I bet you he's coming again. And then Jaxie, anyone going to Miami 6th or 8th? I am like on the fence. I think IC is. Yeah. IC, we'll talk later, but I might be going. So we'll see. But let's talk about the awards and the land this plane here for Ready Up episode 49. So here are all the game awards, and Matt has just crushed. I think he put this out like almost instantly. This guy is obviously just knows crypto Twitter like no one else. Shady, I'm 5 hours away. Does that count? You should be coming. Also, Caesar, you asked like, am I invited to Wolves Den GDC? Like, yeah, pretty much all of Wolves Web3, all of Web3 gaming is invited to Wolves Den. It's a kind of a, like I said, a conference within a conference. And so yeah, if anybody's there in San Francisco, it's based in the US too. Come on out. But yeah, so Matt saying here's the Game 3 awards. And I also just want to hear from the chat too. Like, did anything surprise you guys? Was anything like you know what? I'll kick it off. I see. One that surprised me was the art direction, right?
Yeah, dude,
they were going up against the swingers. Like, they had wild card in that. They had off the grid. And you know, art is like, we talked about this before, right? We said like art is so subjective.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. But Moonfrost, I will say, like, I totally get it too, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, some people like that pixelated stuff and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, you said that you were surprised on that one too?
That might have been the biggest surprise of the night for sure. Congrats to them. I was so excited for them. But just to recap, guys, they beat out Parallel, Star Atlas, Wildcard, and Off the Grid.
Yes. All have amazing art. Like,
yeah. Definitely in my predictions, I would always shout out Moonfrost. Like, man, what a vibe, cozy, casual, like really nostalgic. Like, they always had something. So, like, you know, they are definitely doing something right in their art style. But I did not think that they would beat out the games that they beat out. So huge congrats to them.
Yeah, and then Seabass is saying that the best esport was Parallel. I think Seabass, if I'm not speaking with you here, it was, I think you were going for, tell me which one in chat. I don't want to misspeak for you.
That honestly, that surprised me a little bit as well. Even though Parallel has such a massive esports kind of presence, right, with their whole league championships, with, you know, so many of their tournaments and things like that. Like, it is a massive kind of esports game, but that one did surprise me as well.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, you know, I say with founders, some of these guys are building games. I just think we're just too critical. Like, if I'm just being honest, like, I think we're just like, we just ripped them to shreds and not like ever like respect anything of them taking risks. Like, they spend millions of dollars and put their neck out there for us to just like rip them, which is totally fine. You guys can rip them and all that stuff, but I'm going to be one that like supports and at least sheds light on the ones that deserve to be shed light on. Because it can always be easy shining light on the negatives because there's 1,000 of them. But we just also need to just shine light on ones that are doing well.
I did want to make a comment there. That's also why I choose to be, you know, positive and supportive on the timeline. And also why I don't get into like drama. I just don't have the energy or interest in it.
Yeah.
You know, there are times in projects that do need to be called out, and I appreciate people like ICO Beast or Jaxie or the people that, you know, will take the time to thoughtfully and carefully and respectfully, you know, call a spade, because there is grift, there are, you know, people that are just here to extract, and I'm not saying that we should turn a blind eye to that whatsoever.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know how hard, you know, Omar from Super Champs has been working. I know how passionate, you know, someone like Mike Levine from Planet Mojo is.
Right.
We know, you know, the sacrifices that Koji has made, you know, traveling all around the world. So we just know, we see the work that these founders put in, and it's really a thankless job. Even when you win an award, you know, like, these people have to go back to work. Even Hantao from Moku was saying that he would work the booth like 8-9 hours a day, and then have to go spend 4 hours, you know, like tidying up.
Geo is working the booth too.
Geo. So it's like it is, you know, important to kind of give grace and patience and respect to the builders. So that's where I come from with it.
And I think you said it right. It's like, there are people, and again, like the target, like, I guess for me, of like feeling like disappointed or sometimes embarrassed is not from a lot of the people that I choose to associate with too. It's really just like, why am I in this space if like we're just going to crush every single person's soul that tries to swing at bat? Like, and that's the thing for me. It's like, I just want to be one of those people that is a little bit more positive. We do need those people that are smacking skulls, but I just feel like everybody in crypto Twitter smacking skulls. They're like, that's it. And that what made me reflect on this was Jiho's post, right?
Yeah.
He's like, being more PvE and all that stuff. It's like, okay, well, let's share insights and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's get back into some of the game awards here.
So let's start off, man. The first award was best fighting game.
Yes.
I loved to see Champions take this.
Yeah.
And I think that this is their first award. If I'm not mistaken, did you guys
last year they won? Last year they won too. So they won back to back in terms of best fighting game.
Oh.
And Luke also just had like some ringers, man. He had some ringers.
It was great to see Luke with the acceptance video, him getting some shine. That was a treat that I wasn't expecting. That was really cool.
Sure. He should have came out. Luke would have been a huge vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked a little bit about it. Best art direction, Moonfrost, and everything like that. That was a surprise to us, but also well deserved. Again, art is very subjective. Best browser game was Pirate Nation. I thought Beacon would have pulled this one out. If I'm being honest, but again, Pirate Nation deserves it, and they also have a cult like following too, man.
Yeah.
Watch the cults.
And they've been, available the entire year pretty much going into season 3 now with their TGE, their airdrop. I mean, I wasn't surprised. This is who I had for Pirate Nation.
Yeah. And then for best mobile game is Fableborn. I was like, I was like, let's Fableborn.
Yeah.
I enjoy Fableborn very much, and I thought it was the best mobile game in the category.
For sure. Shout out to them. Happy for them. Also, new Ronin game. So it's like really cool to see
it was
that ecosystem winning. Of course, they won overall ecosystem. I got to be honest. So, I mean, NFL Rivals, though, to beat out NFL Rivals is just a testament to Fableborn, man. Fableborn is like absolutely crushing. Just announced their token power on the horizon. So keep an eye out for that.
Super pumped for it.
Real happy for them.
You called this one. You called this one icy, and I did not. I didn't think that they were going to win it again, but they did.
Yeah, man, big time. You can't sleep on big time, man. People say what they want to say about big time, but Pioneer early game, love to see it, and they're still doing well. PvP is now coming to big time, so that's really exciting. Congrats.
I'm not a PvE guy at all, so other than the space, but PvP, dude, like that. I told Savage is like, DM me right now. It's like, I want to play PvP so badly. So I'm going to check it out. I'll report back whenever I do. But best strategy game, Parallel TCG. It made a ton of sense for Parallel. I think that was the one that I had for that category as well. What do you think of that one?
Sorry,
you're good. I know.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. So they were going up against Wildcard, Aperon, Block Lords, and Shardbound. I do know that Aperon has quite a bit of strategy and depth to it. I think Wildcard's like not so much playable, just yet and accessible. Right. So I think that made a lot of sense. This was the first award that they won. So this was a first Koji speech, which was just hilarious.
Good.
Like, I didn't get the memo from the other founders that we weren't showing up. And like, I don't, and I think he commented about Omar giving him stuff about not wearing a suit.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
Like, I don't come to present these. I come to win them.
Yeah, dude, it was so good, dude. Every single sentence he had was a zinger.
Highlight and star of the show.
He set the tone so well, and also they won so much. They won best TCG. They won best esports game. It was just honestly just like they wrecked house all the way through.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the sake of time, I'm just going to read this off, and then we'll see for anybody that has, because I don't want Icy to die on the show. I'd feel so guilty. So yeah, best action game, a Play Off the Grid, wasn't a surprise there. Best casual game, Pixels Online, very much. I think Heidi and Luke were there, and they just were so amazing when it came to like presenting and everything like that. So best sports game is Play Sparkball. Best adventure game is Raven Quest. That was something that I was really happy to see Raven Quest take home an award, because I think they deserve it. Like, they were one of those wins that people don't give them enough credit of doing something that like nobody else has done, which is build like pretty much a full-fledged game and then ship Web3 elements on top of it. And so really just kind of keeping my eye on how that develops, because that might be the future of what Web3 gaming is. It's not raise a whole bunch of money or release a token so early in terms of speculation. Yeah, the valuation might go super high because there isn't so much baked in. So you could people's imagination goes wild. But Raven Quest is actually shipping things and then asking for money. So very excited to see Raven Quest win award, and best adventure game. That's not a category it was definitely a huge hitters there.
Yeah.
Best DCG Parallel, and
No
also shout out
surprise.
to Allie. She was there. We sang her happy birthday on the day that she came in. And then best shooter game, Play Off the Grid. Best content creator, YP. Dude, he had such a sick dance too. You know,
Yellow Panther, man, that was amazing. So really interesting note about the best content creator is that they didn't announce the top 5 at all until, and I don't know if they did this last year, but Oliver for presenting, they actually did reveal the top 5. So it was Sam, it was Yellow Panther, it was Ali Straza, shout out to her, it was Pachara, shout out to her, so deserved. And then I think Kagi was the 5th one. So really, really cool to kind of like see.
I was sad that you weren't in there. I will be. I also some people in the chat too, but also I love everybody that was nominated too.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate that. Everyone that was vying for me, thank you guys so much. Not about me. So really, really cool to kind of see that though. Like again, I love seeing Ali and Pachara get some shine. Kagi getting some respect on his name. That's cool. As anyone that I talked to, you guys know that my picks were Sam and YP. I think it was a hot battle between YP and Sam. Yellow Panther absolutely deserves it, right? Incredible year, not only like on the content side, but hosting events, pushing the space forward with 4-4 Labs, a lot of their advising, a lot of the alpha. I mean, he's built an entire team to the point where they have an office, right?
Yes.
So just crushing on every single level, goes to a lot of the events, right? Traveled, in person to these things. So
he showed up.
Really well deserved. And Sam said it amazingly well, like in great company, right? First year was Bryson, second year was Sam. Now we've got Yellow Panther. All of them have been Wolves or are Wolves. So that's a win for Wolves DAO as well.
Right.
So shout out to them, man.
Yeah, man. I just love every single one of those ones that have won. So really excited. Yeah, would love to have you or Sam to win back to back, but like Yellow Panther is amazing and I love him so much. Best on-chain game, Pirate Nation. That was a give me.
I presented that one. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Best ecosystem. This was probably one of those ones that were very close to me, like Avalanche versus Ronin. We talked about this a lot in the show. Ronin though doing it because I'm so happy that Ronin did because we got to have Jiho's speech. And that was so important, I think, for like Jiho to present that because Jiho is also very competitive. And he even said that too. He's like, in a younger self of me, I would take this award and just say we deserved it, and all everybody else's ecosystems suck. But he's kind of turned a leaf on that. And so just really cool to see.
Honestly, Peyton, real quick, it reminded me of Bryson's keynote at NFT NYC 2022. The first time that I met Bryson in person, the first like Web3 gaming event that I ever went to, or like, crypto related gaming event that I went to. Bryson was on stage, and massive respect. It's not an easy thing to get up there in front of an audience who dedicate their lives to this space and be like, listen, guys, we are not living up to our potential.
Right.
We need to do better. So Bryson had that message 2-3 years ago. I respect the heck out of oh my goodness, Jiho for having the guts to say that, because it was really, I think that the space needed to hear it. I needed to hear it, and I have so much respect for Jiho saying it on that stage in that moment.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Game Choice Award. So this is when builders actually choose the game that they feel as if is like the award. So it's like kind of getting nominated by your peers, which is like a huge thing, which is Wildcard. Paul Bettner is like saying, the game's not even out yet. And so he just like always feels like this. It's always so funny because he always vents to me like, Peyton, I just always feel awkward getting rewards for things that are not even out. But it just shows a testament of how many people respect him as like a game developer as well. And so shout out to Wildcard. Best esports game, Parallel TCG. I thought I was voting for Sparkball on this one, on that, and then they won. Actually, that's not. Oh yeah, sports. They won best sports game, which is Play Sparkball. And so congrats to Sparkball there. And then best multiplayer game, Off the Grid. Any nomination for Off the Grid, they won. So that was a crazy thing. And then People's Choice World, Pixels Online. most anticipated game, which was one that I presented. That was a whole bunch of fun. Maple Story, and then game of the year was Play Off the Grid. And I'm going to toot my own horn here. Okay. I said Nine Heroes was going to get nominated for a whole bunch, and they weren't going to win because they were against so many heavy hitters like Off the Grid, as well as like Pixels, or any of these ones that like I thought like just couldn't edge them out. And so I don't know. Shout out to Nine Heroes. I think the game is fantastic. I think it's fun. By all means, it wasn't shaming like your game at all. I just think that there was just a lot of competition in those specific ones.
I think that they could have won Best Esports. I see Parallel winning Best Esports. I think that makes a ton of sense. But you know, I wouldn't have been mad at Nine Heroes winning Best Esports. Shout out to Pixels. Really, really happy to see them win the People's Choice.
Yes. That was a tough one. It was a tough one to win. It was like, 12, 13 of them.
I think they won casual game too, right? So
yeah,
I guess they won 2 awards there. And of course, Off the Grid, they won 4 awards. I think Koji and Parallel won 3 awards. So just massive testament to those games. Where the space has come is really, really exciting. I will say though, I mean, a little bit of the controversy, was seeing so many of the games kind of repeat and win so many of the awards, and people were saying like, oh, it'd be nice to have like a little bit more, variety of people on stage winning and whatnot. Because I think we got like, 3 speeches from Koji. Off the Grid had 4 awards, so they just kind of kept repeating that.
I think that's like also something that like maybe Omar can do in terms of categories, and like splitting them up a little bit more, and like putting some ones that like maybe doesn't have like Parallel in them. It's kind of it's a hard one. It's a hard one.
And it, we said that like we want to support everyone. We're not gonna like call people out, but let me get on my not so nicey arc real quick and call out these founders here, man. Founders, if you're nominated, I think you owe it to yourself and the community to get out to the award show. I know it's a long flight. I know that you're building.
Right.
I know that it's close to, Thanksgiving and whatnot, but it was a little disheartening not seeing more of you guys there. And it was so incredible to see the founders that were there show up, especially if like you've had, such an incredible year, like Off the Grid, like someone from Off the Grid should have been there. In my opinion, you guys got a big team, you guys
knew you guys were going to win one.
Yeah. So like, it would have been really nice to see someone from the team there to accept those awards and to be there. I mean, Chandler was like sick and he made it out. Right. So I think we need to see more of the founders kind of there for that, because it was a big event. Games does so much in the space. Shout out to them once again. I mean, George was incredible as the show host.
So amazing,
funny. Didn't have a script. Was just so in his element, so comfortable on stage. It was really cool to see Hub and Gasboat. Can we give a shout out to Gasboat for best dressed? Dude. My guy was killing it with that jacket, looking amazing. And just Omar, man, what a founder, what a leader, what a builder, a pioneer in the space, making it all possible. But everyone on the games team, of course, Eliza and whatnot, just really, really cool, man. Really cool.
I'm excited for like the next few years and everything like that. But yeah, completely agree and echo the sentiment. There's like a lot of people that just didn't show up. I was like, that's kind of a bummer, but all good. One thing that we did show up here was Wildcard posting this little highlight stuff from me and Icy. And it was such a vibe, man. Just wanted to give you a huge thank you for doing this with me. And so this is some of the awards.
Why does Sam look so good in a suit, man? Gosh, darn it. They had the Manila like orchestra there, like the symphony orchestra or something like that. That was such a nice touch.
Yeah, I guess you're right in terms of like Winter Fire's year's edition solidified the procedure of the event and everything like that. I think for me it was just like making sure that like it was just so much fun just doing it with my best friend and everything like that. And it just like this year was just so much fun, like just kind of like it was, I don't know, it's just like a period on like our time together. And it was just, thank you Wildcard team for just capturing some of this. And this is like just me and
dude, we were vibing up there. Yo, shout out to them for finding this clip, man.
Yeah, we probably had like the most fun out of everybody in the event. I'm not gonna lie, because whenever we came on stage,
smiles,
so it was fun, man. Yeah. All right. So the last thing that I want to kind of give you the podium for is, like, you know, you talk about the Ronin effect, you talk about the Wolves DAO effect, and this is kind of the last thing that we have here. But yeah, man, just a lot.
Well, so this was cool, man. Well, first of all, one final kudos to you, Peyton, for the production on the Thousands stream.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
I wish people could have seen like the setup that we had. We had lights. You had the, you know, the soundboard,
you bring the lights, and saved
and everything. Butt. Yeah, well, you know, I can do something here and there. But you just ran such an epic show, and it was an honor to be hosting it with you. I know that you had said like no one you'd rather do it with.
Yeah.
And, that those clips make me really happy seeing like us just vibing and having chemistry and whatnot. Just like, I'm like, yeah, that's Icy and Peyton. But yeah, man. So on Saturday, YGG Play Summit gave us the entire stage. We did a Wolves DAO takeover from 12 to 4. Where we opened up with a panel. We had gaming activations. You were giving away, you debuted Thousands and was giving away, you know, airdrops on stage. You were in your element. Talk about you shoutcasting. If you can go back to like the list, because like what is not listed on that tweet is that all of that stuff was in like 2 hours. So we did the panel. Of course, Sam announced Wolves Den GDC 2025 will be returning. He had photos of the Airbnb. It's like right on the water in San Francisco. It's massive. It's like, I'm so excited for that because it just looks so sick. It looks like, man, that bull market money just hits different, you know? You obviously were debuting Thousands, which was really cool. So thoughtful. You announced a wolf on stage. Shout out to Kobe Streams. He was in the chat earlier. That was just a beautiful moment, and is like, I feel like signifies what Wolves DAO is about, and just a testament to you as a leader to like have that foresight of like, I want to induct a new wolf on stage here at YGG Play Summit. Someone who exemplifies the best of Web3 gaming and content creation in the Philippines, who I can't think of anyone else other than Kobe Streams. However, there are so many incredible Filipino content creators. Shout out to Milka.
And we need to get more light to them. That's something that in 2025 I have to do for sure.
Shout out to Zyric and Vladtrax and Excelsior and just Sylphie and the whole YGG esports team and community. We gave away some Wolves DAO exclusive merch on stage. So we're giving away hoodies and some of the hats and stuff. That was super fun. We won't talk about Crypto Bros versus Pro and OTG. We're not talking about it, Peyton. We're moving on. Stop laughing. We're not moving on. Shatterline. It was a free-for-all showcase. You saw Seabass on stage. Again, someone else who was just in his element, owning the stage, having a bunch of fun. Shatterline was a lot of fun. So all of this happened in 2 hours. Thank you again to Gabby and YGG Play Summit for allowing us to do a stage takeover and really embracing Wolves DAO. Again, we've said it a bunch of times, but like, who else is traveling the world all year long and going so far out of their way to host, you know, creator meetups and masterminds and Airbnbs and set up 6 PCs and bring on game sponsors and highlight games and go to meetings and go to events and show up and show out. Like, you know, and the thing is, like, Wolves DAO is not even loud about it. We're not even like patting ourselves on the back or egoing or anything like that. So hopefully I can be the cheerleader for you guys real quick, because it's just like, it's like, you know, dude, Wolves DAO hasn't raised millions of dollars. Wolves DAO hasn't raised any dollars, right?
Yeah.
We're, you know, you and Sam do this out of your own brains and out of your own pocket and reach out to incredible partners. Of course, shout out to the partners that make it possible. Couldn't do it without them. But like, this is a grassroots organization that is, you know, doing it time and time and time again. And like, you know, people give me credit or whatever, which is very nice, but like, man, I said it earlier in one of our DMs, like, I just get to show up and, you know, and bring energy because you guys do all of the hard work. So it's just really an incredible organization that I'm so proud to be a part of. I'm so grateful to be a part of. And just, you know, it's really remarkable the year that Wolves DAO has had. And 2025, man, that's the Wolves DAO effect, baby.
It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be so much fun, dude. Thank you so much for your kind words and all that stuff, man. It really is amazing. And I think coming into 2024, it was kind of something that we kind of stumbled upon, but like we have to keep on doing. If anything that 2024 has showed us is that there are people out there that need Wolves in a lot of capacity to be able to do that. And I'm definitely, that's my element, and I want to. So yeah, man, let's get into some trailers, brother. We can end this off here with some trailers, and it's gonna be a whole bunch of fun. And then last, I'll thank our sponsors for doing it. So you guys know the rules. We have trailers here. We only have 3 trailers because we're already running up on time. But we have the first one is going to be NFL, or not NFL, but FIFA Rivals, which was crazy to see here. But yeah, let me play this. One watch. Everyone knows the rules.
So these were debuted live at the Game Awards.
Yes.
Exclusive trailers. Really, really cool. We got some like Pixar level animation going on.
Yeah, I know, man.
Look at this guy. Oh no. Oh no. Damn, dude. Poor little guy. He's all right, right?
FIFA Rivals. It was a huge, like, specific, like, I know, like, in the opera houses, whatever they call it, it was like roaring, dude. It was like so crazy to have literally a big name like that. NFL Rivals, I think, is like really cool and all that stuff. But FIFA is like huge. It's gigantic. It's like worldwide phenomenon, and just being able to have NFT integration, all that stuff, like right off the rip, dude.
Yeah,
so cool, man. So cool. What'd you think of this? Okay, so rating the trailer. I'm not like a big fan of it, like a 6.2.
Yeah.
And like all the 6.2 is FIFA Rivals. Everything else in terms of delivery of announcing it, I feel like it's kind of a big deal, but I don't know what this cricket is, you know.
So I'm probably at a 7. I like it, man. I like it a lot, man. I'm going high, like 7.7. The thing is, like, 2 things. One, this was the first one that they debuted at the Game Awards. So it really kind of set the tone for the announcements and just kind of blew people away. Like, you know, first ever exclusive premiere. And we're getting FIFA coming into Web3. So this was just big. And I like it. I agree. Like, this is just like a cute little announcement, right? So there's nothing like special or mind-blowing about it, but it was thoughtful, right? They went the Pixar, you know, Disney kind of, well, I guess not Disney, but Pixar, you know, aesthetic. So it was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. AE just got the internet back. You the man, AE. Thanks for showing
Welcome back.
But yeah, next one is
about unsung hero star of YGG Play Summit, man. AE crushed it.
Absolutely amazing.
Well, real quick, can we just shout out AE because he gave us these incredible, beautiful
gifts. So good. Mine is at home right now, but yeah, so good, dude.
Listen. So great to meet Adrian in person. Of course, we met Kay as well. AE helped out Sam and Sarah when we had, you know, some stolen phone mishaps on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was real special, brother.
It was, man. AE is so good to see you, buddy. All right, next one is up is going to be Forgotten Playlands.
Yeah. Dude, we were like on stage or you know, hosting, so we couldn't really like see everything.
Yeah.
This is like wild, man.
Yeah.
In person, look at the production quality of this.
Forgotten Playland is a lot of fun though. Like, I played it with like a few people, and I enjoy it. Sad.
Dude, they went all out for this. I actually, you know, I feel like I need to understand. Coming Q1 2025.
I wonder what it is. Isn't it like already out?
Yeah, so that's like what I'm curious about as well. Like, is it going to be even more and more built out?
Yeah. Like, is it
I'm
a
not.
full release? Did we only just get like a demo? Is it only just
Yeah.
gated? You know?
I gotta say, man, I'm continually impressed by Forgotten Playland. Like they've been like kind of quiet but consistent all year long. Of course, Mikkel works for them. They have some other people. I think this is like the flagship game being built, you know, by Merit Circle and Beam and everything. So I think they're putting a lot of weight behind it. Clearly, you know, with that trailer, it's quite compelling.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I want to give them such a high score because like I appreciate the length that they went to. And it was so cool to see like an in-person like thing.
Like a live action type of thing.
Yeah, live action. But like I also am left wondering like, okay, but like what do I do? Like what you know, it's like it doesn't, I don't know. So man, I think it's like high, but I'd have to give it a 7.9.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7.1. For me, it's like I'm not a big fan of like live action and all that stuff. And for that stuff, like I don't really know what the announcement is. It's like I don't understand it. And so that's also a little bit of a dock for me. But congratulations on effort. Like being a videographer in the past, like that does take a lot of time. But dude, one that actually wasn't at the award show, but actually is very impressive was Project O. We talked a little bit about this, and I don't know if you've watched it yet, but it's honestly a really good trailer, and I wanted to play it for here. I just wish that they did it at the Game Awards because it was sick. All right. Coin Games.
Time, baby.
So last time we kind of rated the trailer a little harshly because like it just didn't seem like there was much.
You rated it harshly.
It just didn't seem like there was much. But this is what I think is like really brilliant by them is that they're using IP that people want, right? Like people want Boots, people want Winnie the Pooh, people want like these Queen of Hearts and all that stuff, or these. It's an IP that all of us like kind of have an affiliation to, very similar to like Pokemon cards and stuff. So you don't have to create a whole new IP. You're actually basing it off of things that we already know, like Big Bad Wolf. And it's like fast-paced, high-intensity games. There's not a whole huge card deck for people like me that don't want to build like a 50, card deck or whatever. It just seems like it's hitting a lot of things that I'm interested in doing. You know,
it's got a fresh take, but also like the music has like a bit of nostalgia.
Yeah. You can bet your cards.
You can bet your card. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that was crazy. And then these finishes, like
these finishes are dope. Whoa.
I love that. I love that.
It's a real heartbreaker, yeah.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but so good.
Yeah. So, dude, for me, good. Oh, wait, I don't know if there's anything more. Okay, no, there isn't. But yeah, I thought was just absolutely phenomenal. And I'm not a big TCG guy, but I want to play this. You know, kind of looks like Marvel Snap type of deal. So I'm gonna rate this based off of that, like 8.8. 8.8 for me.
Wow, that's such a big score. I think, man, at 8.2. I agree with you. Music, everything. There's gameplay. Like, I love what Project O is doing. I think Sparksy just posted the video from the Wolves DAO kind of like alpha call.
Right.
So I'm excited to run that back. I know that they were just in either they were in Paladins or Gaming Grid. I'm not exactly sure, but they just did an AMA with one of those communities.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it, I think, the past few weeks. Of course, this is from Kevin Lambert, who like designed Microsoft Solitaire. Right. So like literally one of the most like renowned game designers like in the world, because so really, really excited for what they're doing, man. And listen, what I also want to remark on for everyone here in the chat, look at their marketing beats. Look at the beats that they've like come out with, that they've been consistent with,
right?
And kind of like, continued to keep it going.
Yeah. The pace is good.
It's a really, really compelling rollout, and I'm excited for what they're doing.
Yeah, they're doing things that like make people like, also Apex's thing about like they're doing things that don't scale, but they do scale if like you tweet about it, right?
Yeah.
Like Apex and saying like, hey, we're red pilling like wolves or red pilling all these specific ones. And so they're kind of like just having this cadence. It takes a while for like that brand to kind of build up, like the inevitable thing and everything. So yeah, man, overall, just fantastic job for Project O and for people that are looking at kind of just like a understanding of how to market consistently. Like obviously they're doing a really good job. So you should definitely do put them under the microscope for a little bit just for your team to study for a bit. But also we wanted to thank our show sponsors to make all of this possible. First, shouting out Zai has been just the Zai boys. Yeah, exactly. Icy did it. We all did it. Zai boys.
Listen, we got Spike. We got Yellow Panther Content Creator of the Year. We got Peyton
and Jonah. Yeah,
come on now.
Yeah, the Zai boys and the squads are awesome. And they actually changed their like Zai PFP into Pudgies. Yeah, absolutely crazy. And they're just like for the culture, right? And so a lot of cool things. I'm actually doing a pack opening for Planet X. Again, thank you, IC, for securing that for me. So I'm going to be doing one that's a sponsored post here soon. Maybe you can do it with me, IC. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we can do that. And they just signed Tolan Universe and Tolan Worlds. So congrats to Michael for that. I'm like, that dude, that partnership makes so much sense.
Right.
And I think I'm losing my voice more and more as we go throughout the show. So I apologize. But no, Zai continues to cook. I think 2025 will be Zai's year. Real excited for what they're doing. And shout out to them for sponsoring the show.
Yeah, shout out to them. And then also we have to thank our longest sponsor here, OpenSea, and they've been just such phenomenal friends as well as sponsors to us. And they're doing these amazing NFT drops. Honestly, I'm like hovering over this because I really want to do it. But also just shout out to the amazing job that they have done in the past. Over 220,000 Moonray has been minted for this activation, and shout out to IC for really pounding the pavement for Moonray and putting them on the map. And then also lastly, join the OpenSea.io/waitlist. They have an amazing thing. It's also a very fun mini game. IC put me onto it. You can use a whole bunch of things there. So
drag the ship around, guys. December, a new OpenSea is coming. We will be covering it, of course. It's gonna be absolutely crazy. I don't know. I'm really excited. I think I got access. Oliver hit me up about access to like the private beta. So I think I got to fill out one more thing and then I should be able to get in there. There's already screenshots of like leaderboards and points and there's speculation going on. We have no idea what that could, what it will be, but I don't know, man. I'm just excited. They've been incredible partners and just like pioneers in the space. So real honored to be a part of, to be working with them.
Same. But that wraps it up, buddy. Episode 49 for Ready Up is in the books. Thank you guys so much for showing up. AE, Matt, Jaxie, Kobe, freaking Winterfire. You guys are so awesome. Shady Airlines, Shady Shiba, Chris Adrock. I could go on and on.
VGF, man. VGF, honestly, the young legend.
The young legend. I think Snowball came in.
I just saw Fee's comment. Shout out to Fee, man.
Fee
absolutely crushing.
But
Lenny from so MetaClash. Lau, of course. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Fire X Capital. Sarah and Nini were crushing it.
They were.
Every event. Alex ARG, shout out to the kind community. Appreciate y'all.
And then the Tempest Guild, they kind of came.
Bora.
Don't hurt yourself, Izzy. Don't hurt yourself. But we are going to close up shop here today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for watching. We love you guys, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.